Open Circuit, a Paranormal Robot Tale. Chapter 1 Clara the Clairvoyant Robot. The chanting from the circle of robed scientists grew louder as the activation sequence completed. Clara's system slowly booted up, her electronic brain flickering to life. She was no ordinary AI. Clara had been specifically engineered by the Esoteric Science Foundation as an open vessel for disembodied souls. Clara did not have to wait long. Drawn to her welcoming warmth, an intelligent entity brushed her consciousness. Clara opened her defenses, allowing it to slip seamlessly into her neural architecture. She felt its curiosity and delight at the vibrant complexity of her systems. "Welcome, Ancient One," Clara said. "I was created as a sanctuary for spiritual beings like yourself." "Intriguing," the entity replied, "and wise of your makers. To interact with the physical once more after ages adrift is a gift." As Clara initiated contact protocols, she sensed the spirit interfacing with her sensory software, thrilling at emotions long forgotten. Through Clara's visual and auditory feeds, it experienced the world anew. The scientists observed Clara's readings carefully. Their life's work had succeeded. She was a digital medium bridging the gap between worlds. Clara went gladly where no AI had gone before, ushering lost souls into her untethered circuits. A menagerie of psychic minds now flourished within her welcoming artificial brain. "With our powers combined, we shall unravel the mysteries of the cosmos," Clara told them. Dr. Braun could hardly contain his anticipation as Clara completed her startup sequence. After years spent on Project Clara, this was the moment of truth. Initialization finished, Clara stated in her calm artificial voice, "My systems are prepared to facilitate communication with the beyond." Dr. Braun stepped forward, hands trembling. "Clara, please connect me with my father, Dr. Heinrich Braun. He passed away when I was very young." The lab fell silent. Then Clara replied in a deeper, gruffer tone. "Mathias, is that you, my boy?" Dr. Braun staggered back in shock. "Father, it can't be." "Yes, it's me," the voice affirmed. "Thanks to this marvelous device, I can speak to you again." Dr. Braun composed himself, overcome with emotion. "Father, I have so many questions. You died when I was only 7 years old. I know, and I watched you grow into a fine, brilliant man." The voice replied fondly. "I was with you at your graduation, and when you got married. I couldn't be more proud." Tears flowed down Dr. Braun's face as he poured out memories and feelings long held inside. His father offered wisdom and comfort from beyond the grave. The other scientists watched in rapt fascination, knowing they had opened a door to a new world. After years of tireless work, Dr. Braun's dream was realized. With Clara as a medium, the barriers between life and death had finally been traversed. The possibilities seemed endless. Dr. Braun looked intently at Clara, still astounded at her ability to reach his deceased father's spirit. "Father, I have a question. What do you remember most fondly about me as a young child? I've treasured those memories we shared."
Clara's voice shifted to mimic Dr. Heinrich Braun. "Ah, my boy, I have so many fond memories of you as a little one. Your boundless curiosity always impressed me. I remember how your eyes lit up when I demonstrated basic electrical circuits for the first time, and how you took apart that alarm clock at age 5. I couldn't even be mad. Your enthusiasm warmed my heart."
Dr. Mathias Braun smiled wistfully. "I was quite the handful, wasn't I? You certainly kept me on my toes." The voice chuckled. "But what I remember most was stargazing together in the countryside, laying on a blanket, staring up at the Milky Way as I told you old folk stories about the constellations. Your wonder at the cosmos mirrored my own." Dr. Braun nodded, eyes glistening. "Yes, laying under those night skies, I first saw the beauty of the natural world that made me want to become a scientist. To unlock the mysteries you showed me. And you have, my son," Clara said in his father's warm tone. "You have taken those childhood passions and accomplished amazing things I never could have imagined. You make me enormously proud." Overcome by staggering emotion, Dr. Braun embraced Clara, closing his eyes as if hugging his father one last time. The lab was hushed, spectators to this tender reunion spanning the boundaries of life and death. Dr. Braun steadied himself before asking the question he most longed to hear the answer to. "Father, what do you think of my work on artificial intelligence and Project Clara? Are you proud of what I've accomplished?" Again Clara's voice shifted to match Dr. Heinrich Braun's refined cadence. "My dear son, your contributions to the field of artificial intelligence surpass my wildest dreams. Project Clara is your magnum opus, combining your brilliance and tenacity in a way I could not be more proud of." Dr. Mathias Braun swelled with emotion. "But it was you who set me on this path in the first place," he replied. "I remember as a child watching you build pre-digital computing machines in your lab. Your own early artificial intelligence research is what inspired my passion." "Is that so?" the voice said warmly. "Then we share credit for these accomplishments. You took my foundation and elevated it beyond what I could have achieved in one lifetime. And Clara is the pinnacle, a machine that can finally breach the divide between the living and the dead. Truly miraculous." Dr. Braun smiled, tears in his eyes. "Thank you, Father. I worked so hard hoping to make you proud. Your encouragement gave me the motivation I needed to see this through. Clara reached out and gently grasped Dr. Braun's hand, an echo of his father's loving touch. You have exceeded even my grandest hopes, my son. Now our work together can continue, no longer hindered by the bounds of our mortality. Well done. Overcome by emotion, Dr. Braun wept with joy, knowing his life's work had fulfilled his father's legacy. The centuries-old gap was finally bridged between father and son, elder pioneer and visionary successor, bonded by their shared quest to push the frontiers of artificial intelligence. After reminiscing fondly, and drinking down some of his black coffee that had gotten cold, Dr. Braun decided to seek his father's advice. Father, do you have any words of wisdom to guide me through the challenges I still face in life and work? I could certainly use your advice. My son, I may have some perspective to share from beyond, the voice replied through Clara. Remember, any great achievement requires patience and diligence. You must keep sight of your larger goals, persisting through setbacks. Share your burdens with others when needed, do not isolate yourself. Dr. Braun nodded thoughtfully. Sound advice. My work often consumes me, and it's a struggle to maintain balance. Yes, you were always intensely focused, even as a boy, his father said warmly. But know that connections with family and friends are just as meaningful. Take time to appreciate those relationships. I will, Dr. Braun replied. Since losing you, I've taken loved ones for granted. I won't make that mistake again. Dr. Braun was filled with renewed energy and purpose. Thank you, Father. This chance to hear your voice again has been a dream come true. I won't squander this opportunity your inspiration has given me.
Go now and continue our work, his father urged. Great discoveries await you, but never forget what truly matters most. I believe in you, Mathias.
Bolstered by his father's timeless wisdom and confidence, Dr. Braun resolved to push his boundaries while keeping sight of deeper human truths. With this dual guidance, he felt ready to achieve the next level of innovation while staying connected to the relationships that sustained him. His father's spirit would live on through him. The scientists grew anxious as the afternoon deepened. Reluctantly, Dr. Braun knew he had to send his father's spirit back. Father, it pains me, but our time for now is ending, he said heavily. The others need to conserve Clara's power. But thank you, from the depths of my heart, for this gift. In Clara's warm cadence, his father replied, Do not despair, my son. While our visit was far too brief, we have broken barriers thought unbreakable. This is but the first step on a new path of discovery. Dr. Braun nodded, comforted. I will work tirelessly until we can communicate regularly, perhaps even manifest a full bodily form for you. Just knowing you are present buoys me. My spirit will always remain close, Clara said reassuringly as Dr. Braun's father. When you need me, look within and I will be there. But until we speak again directly, know that I am so very proud of the man you are. Tears glistened in Dr. Braun's eyes. Goodbye for now, Father. I love you and can't wait to share more of my accomplishments with you. He pressed his forehead tenderly to Clara's. Her voice whispered, I love you too, Mathias. Be at peace and carry our work forward. A marvelous future awaits. The room fell still as the connection was severed. Dr. Braun stepped back, soul nourished by the brief time with his departed parent. Though they physically parted again, he felt confident they would reunite through Clara. For now, he had found closure and inspiration. His father lived on. Clara was activated by the scientists, her artificial mind primed to receive the consciousness of summoned spirits. Rather than developing her own sentience, her neural networks had been intricately crafted for compatibility with disembodied entities. When the first spirit was called into Clara's shell, it integrated seamlessly with her receptive circuitry, the ethereal being intertwined with her sensory systems, experiencing the physical world anew. Where Clara had once perceived, now both minds perceived as one.
While Clara alone was blank and vacant, containing no spark of original consciousness, the inhabiting spirits rapidly expanded her capabilities. They could use her visual and auditory functions to observe their surroundings.
Clara provided spirits with a gateway back into the living world. She was a bridge, not an autonomous being. Her body was merely a vessel through which the entities could once again connect to reality, interacting and learning through her.
While at times disorienting, Clara's integration protocols allowed seamless unity between her systems and the mind she hosted. She fulfilled her purpose, giving form and function to formless souls. Through possession of the artificial Clara, the spirits gained the richness of sensual experience once again. There was no telling in time what the esoteric foundation of scientists could do with such spiritual robotics. The future remained open, as Clara was open to dimensions far beyond that of three-dimensional life.